Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Simracersworld TV, and welcome to another trio of rounds of the Simracersworld TCR Series. We're here at the wonderful Charlotte Motor Speedway, and of course, the mighty Roval itself. Chaz Draycott here in the box with the wonderful Peter MacKay alongside me. Peter, we've both had our eyes on this round of the championship as a real gem on the calendar. I think this is going to throw up some pretty unexpected results tonight. What do you reckon?
Yeah, the Charlotte Roval is a pretty tough layout. Some huge curbs. They call them turtles here in the United States, and of course some very close walls as well. A lot of the infield section, the main road course section of the Roval, is kind of like a miniature street circuit, to be honest. Some really close walls as well, so the drivers are going to have to be careful about that and have to time their overtaking moves carefully. And also there's going to be some good drafting opportunity up on the high banks here at Charlotte. But it's a wonderful facility, and I'm sure the drivers are going to enjoy it.
Yeah, it certainly should be a lot of fun for these guys. It's going to be a difficult challenge, like you say, with the walls there. You can see just how close, even on the track map, the first corner and of course the long double apex left, you could say, it is almost like one corner when you drive it. How close they are together when you actually get back on to the banking, it is very, very close indeed. The guys are out in qualifying at the moment. It's very busy indeed. We look at Matthew Crisp here. We'll actually go on board with Matthew for a second. So as we go around this left-hander here, over the crest, we'll talk about the undulation later. Look on the right-hand side. There is the wall, and you can see cars going the other way. There was actually a really funny clip the other day, wasn't there, Peter, of, well, I'm not sure if you did see it on some of the iRacing, I think it was the not top 10, the fails, where a car got bounced over that wall and ended up hitting one of the other cars coming the other way head on. It's quite the accident to have.
Well, I remember when I first got iRacing for the computers. Oh my word, was that Mark Woodhouse who just went straight out of shot?
Yeah, I think
Goodness.
So.
Well, that probably proves your point. I remember I says, "Oh, this Mark did that on purpose to say I'm going to make Chaz look really clever here."
I think Ryan Walker had an issue as well, just at the end of. Oh
dear.
Oh heck. I can't seem to see Woodhouse going off though.
Unless it was maybe Miguel Freitas possibly, but goodness, it was a big one. It was a Team Mad car, that's for sure.
Yeah, indeed. It's not a great way to start the evening. Now this driver, yes, I know the livery's gone white. This driver is Ollie Peacock, who is a newcomer to the championship this evening, making a very, very strong impression. Top of the times at the moment by nearly a quarter of the second, even though he will show in a SimStickers livery for a minute. This is what iRacing's done recently. When it is loading liveries from trading paints, it puts other people's liveries on the cars temporarily. I have no idea why it does it, but it does it. So if you do bear with it a minute, everyone, there you go. See, there's the prop livery, and his teammate Fraser Smith behind him, out of all liveries to be in, he's in a fiercely forward livery. That'll go down well with Fraser. But I mean, we've had new drivers come in partway through a series before, haven't we, Peter? And we have seen performances like this. But Ollie Peacock, I mean, in qualifying to be that far apart based on how close the rest of the field is, that's a really strong first showing so far.
Well, hold that thought for now, because he's towed his teammate Fraser Smith around there and then pulled out the way to let Fraser take the final chicane clear. Let's see what Fraser's lap time is here, because the draft on the straight, and he doesn't improve, interestingly. So, I wonder if, of course, here in qualifying we could get some slightly unusual results with the draft effect, etc. I think we'll only really know once we get into the race and see what sort of pace Ollie Peacock can do consistently. But I mean, quite a wild card to come in and start, put it up onto pole straight away, regardless of the circumstances. And I think Corentin Guinness right now, he'll be thinking, I have a challenger.
Yeah, well, loves a challenge, does Corentin. Same as the rest of his team, HM Engineering. Now, don't forget, everybody, we do have the different classes in this championship now. We have the Precision, Consistency and Academy class, basically Pro, Pro-Am and Am. Bram class leads his class at the moment, and he is the only consistency driver faster than PJ Clayson's in the Academy class at the moment, and he's doing pretty well for himself. As we've said, we love the livery. But PJ was quick at Alton, wasn't he, Peter? It just seemed like he just couldn't stay away from the trouble, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was the one thing about Alton Park is that you can get involved in incidents so easily, whether it's your fault or not. It's just that nature of circuit. Here at the Roval could be kind of be a bit more of the same in the infield bit. There's a lot of portions of the infield section where drivers can have a bit of a kind of dive up the inside, and the line can close up quite quickly. So we might see a little bit of argy-bargy in the infield section, and then the bit that we've really got to look out for is coming into the two main sort of bus stop style chicanes at the top of on the high bankings, because that is where you do get some real lunges, and that's where regardless any type of motorsport that comes here, it is not unusual to see a bit of contact there.
Yeah, definitely. It's always nice to have a circuit like this on the calendar as well. It's just making sure that there's that variation in how a lap needs to be put together. But Bram Class looks like he's properly on it at the moment. I'm not sure how much practice he's done around here in the Simset racing machine, but he is flying. Further back in the Academy class, second place in that class at the moment is Niles de Kuiper in the Radio Motorsport by QSR machine. Chrome spec map upsets me going through the number board, but we'll gloss over that. Get it. Anton Dupin is 23rd at the moment. He'll be hoping for more out of that, to be fair. He's had he had a strong run last season, did Anton Dupin, eventually winning he won the Academy class, did he not, last season? And actually no, consistency class he won last season, Anton Dupin, so he's got the pedigree to do it there, but 23rd at the moment, last in the precision class. He won't be too pleased with that one. Looking further forward, Daniele Giudici going well again, and look at that, Roman Bokler goes second. Fraser Smith immediately displaces him though, so it's a full send racing 1-2 currently with Ollie Peacock. Oh, hello Miguel Freitas. Ollie Peacock, top of the times in his debut in the series. Now, I didn't expect that, and Peter will back me up. We came in the session and I was like, who the ex Ollie Peacock? Where's he come from? But he's certainly making his mark, isn't he? And could he potentially get a win, do you reckon?
Well, it's certainly showing signs of it right now, and I think for Fraser Smith, who's kind of had to ride solo both in the Z1 Dashboard Winter Series and now here in the main series for 2021, Fraser's not really had an ally to help him in wheel-to-wheel combat, whereas the guys in the HM Engineering team have, of course, Roman Bokler, Corentin Guinez, and Norbert Leitner. So, and that really helps, especially with touring car racing where it's really, really close. And as we can see here, a lot of the drivers actually working together as best they can in qualifying to try and tow each other along. So it's I think it's going to mean a lot for Full Send Racing, but for Fraser Smith as well, to have a fast teammate to work alongside is going to be super helpful. Yeah, and it does just give you that bit more confidence as well, especially if you're involved in a battle and you've got your teammate around you as well. It does make a huge difference to how you behave on circuit. Oh, Naveed Hussein pushing that car through the chicane, launches it over the curbs. He's been very exciting to watch from the very get-go in this championship, is Naveed. Pushing once again around here. Mark Draper asking in the chat, are the setups fixed? I believe they are. I think. I'd like to think they are with how close the racing is, but yeah. I remember that they are in another league that we broadcast here on Simracersworld TV, the Formula 3 series, but I can't guarantee that they are here. I'll have a look in the chat at these lot, because there have been a few where it seems like, I mean, we always say, don't we, Peter, that when you do get fixed setups, when it is down to just the driver talent, everyone has got literally the same car with the same setup, it does make the racing more close and exciting, doesn't it? It does indeed, yeah. I have to say I love the fixed setup formula, because it's difficult, because sometimes when there's an open setup, you maybe feel like you don't know how much of the factor is you and your own pace, or how much of the factor is that that the setup of the car is wrong. I mean, the good thing about the touring car is they're relatively simple to set up, so it's a little bit less of an impact. But I definitely prefer the fixed setup way. I think really the open setup is mainly for the very, very top World Championship level stuff. Otherwise, I think it would be generally, as a general rule, I would say the fixed setup would be better.
Yeah, it is. It is fixed setup as well. Just had a check of the rule book. I knew I had it somewhere, but yes, it is done and made sure that the racing is nice and close. And I think, you know, a lot of the racing does owe itself to that. The competition that we've seen, and I mean just how even it has been this season has been amazing. Porsche Sport in the chat. How many Porsches? One. The pace car. Again, doing its duty.
There's bound to be a few in the car park, surely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most probably. With private regs. Dan Mould. We're not going to get onto that stereotype. I had a moan about that today, actually. I had to drive my auntie to the hospital today, and we were having a big debate about different stereotypes of drivers, and I mentioned what we tend to get up to on a Tuesday night, Peter, with stereotyping Audi drive. Indeed. We're not going to get onto the private plate discussion this evening because I'll be here until the end of race 2. Dan Mould is currently pushing out there as well, trying to get higher up the order. He's down in 17th at the minute, second in the consistency class. This is Mark Woodhouse, who's currently 10th overall. He is behind... Actually, no, he's not behind any of his teammates. He's ahead of Miguel Freitas by just a handful of positions. An extra one now as well, as Anton Dupin goes 11th overall. But that first section, it's so scary how close they get to the wall, isn't it?
Well, I think in qualifying, you've got to do it. You'll see the drivers not taking quite as much risk in the race, or if they've got any sense anyway. But particularly in the qualifying, you've got the closer you can get to those walls. A bit like, you know, on a circuit where there aren't walls, you want to try and use all of the carbon and the exit room that you can. It's the same here, but you're just you can see Anton Dupin just flirting with the wall on the outside, and then the inside, and then the outside again. So. Yeah, this is why I always love watching onboard laps of the MacKay Grand Prix or the MacKay World GT Cup, because those onboard laps. There was one of Earl Bamber in a Porsche GT3 car in qualifying at MacKay. My word, it is just electrifying.
Oh, it's bonkers, isn't it? I remember going back a little bit now, the good old Xbox 360 game Race Driver Pro. Yeah. Actually, no, I think it was just called Race Pro. It was the one that came after Race 07. You used to have a lot of events based at Macau, and no matter how many laps I did around there, I just could not get my head around it, unfortunately. It was just... I mean, what a circuit. It's amazing, but yeah, it's certainly one that's very difficult. This is Anders Lillejorde. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, it is. I mean, yeah, I think what it lacks in width, it gains in length. Let's move past that very quickly. Anders Lillejorde for TC Motorsport at the moment. The share box is gone, but the pace is definitely not from these guys. Mats Borg Anderson, well, there you go. There was no pace in that, but you know what I mean. He's 17th overall, 15th in class at the moment. But Anton Dupin is trying to get into the top 10, as everybody is. We've got actually quite an interesting pattern going on here, because we've got the two full send racing cars of Ollie Peacock and Fraser Smith. I tell you what, look on the left hand side, you'll see the team names. Then we have a mixed second row, Roman Bokla ahead of Naveed Hussain for Ignium Motorsport, ruining the symmetry. Then it's two HM Engineering cars, and then two Fiercely Forward cars as well. So it's almost like watching Formula One in the early 2000s, where it was always Ferraris, McLarens, Williams and Jordans in the top 8.
It is a bit like that as well, or perhaps even Super Touring in the kind of latter part of it, where it became a very much an established order as well. I tell you what, I saw earlier on, Chaz, you'll like this one. Ryan Walker, a fellow commentator of ours, sent me a clip of one of my absolute heroes. He was certainly my ultimate hero when I was a kid. Was Ricard Rydell, the fastest florist in the world, who was also a factory Volvo driver, and him putting it on pole at Bathurst in the last Super Touring Bathurst 1000, last ever non-Holden and Ford win for Volvo in that 5-cylinder S40. I had to just go and have a little sit down in a moment to myself.
Yeah, that S40 does sound absolutely phenomenal. There's just a thing about 5-cylinder engines, obviously. The Audis we see this evening, you know, Audi are no stranger to a 5-cylinder engine. Just go and listen to the Quattro's completely wonderful song, and they just, 5 and 10 cylinders just sound spot on. They are as it should be, in my opinion. And there's actually I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you've seen it or not, but there is recent footage. I say recent, maybe the last 5 years, of one of the Super Touring S40s in an edited livery from its period colour scheme, being taken on a track day around a circuit, and of course, modern day camera technology and modern day microphones pick up the wonderful, wonderful sound it makes down the pit straight, and it's just phenomenal. It absolutely is just wonderful. And I agree, you know, Rickard Rydell, a name in the British Touring Car Championship that is just, it's like when you say Mufasa in The Lion King, isn't it? Everyone just sort of goes, ooh, Rydell. It's one of those names that just resonates in the paddock, isn't it? No matter what you're talking about and what context.
No, steady on now. Mufasa was Matt Neal.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Mufasa was the baddie, wasn't he?
No, Mufasa was the good guy. You're thinking of Scar.
Oh, no.
Scar's
Then,
Plato, surely.
Sorry, no, I'm thinking of Scar. My apologies.
I'd be thinking Jason Plato. He likes playing the bad guy, doesn't he? I'm not sure. These full send racing drivers are going slightly flying formation at the moment, maybe hindering each other a little bit through the chicane there. That's definitely not the quickest way for both of them, but this is the thing now. When these drivers get these laps in, I've noticed it a bit more this season, that not only do they just drive off the circuit and try and fit between the cones, but I've sometimes seen them, as Guinness goes third, they use it for racecraft practice. If they know that they've got the best lap out of it, they can sort of abandon the lap and just race against anybody that's around them on track and try and get the most of it. The session will tick over any second now, so we will be given our grid because this is heat racing, and there you go. You do not get a chance to finish your lap. We'll go from there. The crowd making plenty of noise. In the first race of the night, and a debut pole for Ollie Peacock. That's very impressive. Full send 1-2, Fraser Smith alongside him. They're followed by Corentin Guinez and Roman Beauclerc making it HM Engineering row 2. Then it's Naveed Hussein and Norbert Leitner, with Matthew Crisp and Damien Harris making it a fiercely forward row 4. Keanu Bourguignon lines up alongside Mark Woodhouse and rounds out your top 10, with Bram Class at the top of his class ahead of Miguel Freitas. Then we have Anton Dupin and Chris Daines on row 7 ahead of Dan Mulder and Matthijs de Tiege. PJ Claessens tops the Academy class with Mats Borg Andersen, Jessica Myers and Dean Timms rounding out your 20. They're followed by Louis Correa, Daniele Giudici, Ben Hicks and Niles de Kuiper, with Neil Stevenson, Jean-Louis Deschamps, Craig Schill, Paul Godden, Jurgen Knockhart and Michael Blake rounding out your top 30. We then have Anders Lillijordet, Lee Bowden, Scott Malcolm and Danny Fenning, with Ryan Walker and Rob Jackson just ahead of Tito Bonilla at the back of the grid. But we have a very chocker front pack here, Peter. Do you think that we're going to have anybody that can potentially run away here? Because with the banking, with the slipstream, it's not the sort of place where you can just drive away, is it?
No, absolutely not. No, this is going to be pack racing. We're here at one of the one of the legendary venues of stock car racing, Charlotte Motor Speedway. So it's a place used to bunch racing, and that's what we're going to get tonight, no doubt about it.
I think you are absolutely spot on with that. We've got a very interesting camera for turn 1 that I have managed to find, thanks to a previous broadcast here. But you can see there the HM Engineering cars. Naveed Hussein sort of standing out a little bit there in the Ignium car in the middle. But either way, he's going to want to get right in this fight. But now, as you say, Peter, Fraser has a teammate with him, and more in terms of the numbers battle. But Dean Timms, the last car to take to the grid, and the lights will come on, and we are going to have round 12 of the Simracersworld TCR Series underway. You can see some of them piling around the chicane there as well. There is that many of them. Look at that, everybody seemingly swapping round in the front couple of rows. Very interesting tactic indeed. How does everyone behave into turn 1? It's not easy to get it tucked in through there, especially if you don't want to run wide and hit the wall. Looks nice and tidy at the minute though, mate. And Ollie Peacock, he wants to make that runaway because Corentin Guinez, you can bet, is going to be all over Fraser Smith.
Yeah, you can tell that just by the body language of Corentin Guinez's Audi there, the number 1 car, that he's not wanting to let these full send racing guys get into a rhythm. And Chaz, I think that Guinez particularly, he'll be wanting to assert his dominance. We did use the Lion King analogy. Well, this is a bit like being in the Pride. Who wants to be the chief lion, or whatever the top of the Pride is called? Pride of the I don't know. Never mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
King Hippo.
Yes.
Guinez at the moment is the King Hippo, and he wants to make sure that Ollie Peacock knows that that's the case.
Yeah, that's it. You've got to assert your dominance there. Naveed Hussain just trying to push and get past Corentin Guinez there. Looked like Anton Dupin sideways out of there, and just ahead of him actually we've got Miguel Freitas. There was a little battle between Keanu Bourguignon, it was, and Mark Woodhouse. Mark Woodhouse is up to 9th, and look at this, down the inside from Miguel on Bram. Bram needs to be careful at this point though, because don't forget, he is the leader in that class, so he's got more to fight for than some of the drivers around him just trying to get through. It's whether he lets them go or not. This is Mats Borg Andersen side by side with Jessica Myers. Stays down the inside through turn 1. Jessica goes to get the cutback. Down the inside. See, from that other camera angle, it looked like there was going to definitely be contact there, and there wasn't. They got away with it. Through the long double apex right. Very slowly into there. Oh, this is the thing here. It's all about being able to slot into position, isn't it, around a track like this when you're fighting this closely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you've just got to keep your wits about you, because there's a lot of changes of direction in that road course, and there's always a wall ready to meet you. And if you don't hit the wall, you're onto the grass, and then in the wall. So it's coming whether you like it or not, unfortunately. So you've got to be super, super careful and super perceptive here at the Charlotte Roval. But brilliant to see some touring car racing here as well. Of course, IMSA made the return to this venue last year, and unfortunately got some horrendous weather. So really, really wet weather. As Mark Woodhouse, oh my, that was close. God, he nearly got Bourguignon there, but Fraser Smith, I think, is serving a slowdown penalty here, Chaz.
I think Corentin Guinez has had one as well, actually. He's down to 5th place, as I've just noticed there. Roman Bocler's just gone into the lead. Oh, that was feisty stuff down the inside. Look at that train. Let's have a look what happened to Corentin Guinez, because Ollie Peacock got past him. He was ahead of Ollie at one point. Oh, Fraser and... Wow. So that's what set up that moment just there. And then watch out for Roman Bocler here. So Naveed Hussain's going to go up high, because that's the only place he can go. Roman tucks it down the inside. Look at that. Cheers, boys. Nice one. See you in a bit. And then just... Oh...
Nearly has to put a wheel on the grass. Well, I think it almost did have a wheel on the grass to go around the outside into the chicane, putting a lot of trust there in Ollie Peacock, especially as it's a driver who hasn't been in the championship up to now. But what a great piece of driving from Roman Bocler. And I think, Chaz, that was a bit of real-world racecraft coming through there, of course, with Roman with his real-world touring car experience.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, it's just knowing the size of your car in a situation like that as well. And it's a very deceiving bit of AstroTurf on the way into there. I was watching, amazingly, another league that I broadcast for was racing here in Xfinity cars. And they were putting 2 wheels onto that AstroTurf, and I was thinking, they're on the grass there. They're just going to spin, if anything. But no, apparently it's a harmless AstroTurf, so they got away with it. But look at this lot. Across the line again. Now the team mix has definitely changed here, as Fraser Smith does the fastest lap of the race down the inside of Matthew Crisp. Nothing doing yet. Very close to the back of him. Just reading the manufacturer notes on the screws for the number plate. Oh, in front. There's a bit of a check-up. That's Ollie Peacock getting a hit off Naveed Hussain. There's more contact. Corentin Guinez goes to the side. And in front of that is Norbert Leitner. Norbert Leitner's managed to get through all this as well. Naveed's hanging it around the outside of Corentin now. Oh, more contact again. Door-to-door stuff between the two of them on the infield. Naveed is on the inside, so Corentin's going to lose out. But feisty stuff at the front of the the pack here.
Very feisty indeed, and that's a good example there of the room that's available. And actually, Hussain goes up the inside, catches the curb, hops and skips, and then bumps into the side of Ollie Peacock twice. Poor old Ollie Peacock couldn't actually really do a great deal about it. You think you could see him with all those shiny feathers on his car.
Indeed. It certainly is although mainly black, it's quite a colourful livery in places. I mean, the wheels as well, very shiny. What do you call that? Cyan, I imagine, or maybe teal. I think teal is the word, but yeah, we'll go for that.
Yeah, my dad had speaking of Volvos, my dad had a turquoise Volvo T5.
Oh yeah, good old T5.
It was nice.
Classic thing, isn't it? No, flipping heck.
Washamatic gearbox though. which spoiled it a bit.
Yeah. That's the noise that Ollie Peacock will be making after all of that contact. He won't be very pleased. But it's a HM Engineering 1-2-3 at the minute. Look at this for Fraser Smith on Matthew Crisp. And then behind as well in the background, we had a fight there between Miguel Freitas looking at Chris Daines. 999 machine trying to get past the 800 machine. And further down again, Anton Dupin is up the inside of Louis Correa. Fast cars go bang. Fast cars have to go around the outside here as well. And he's made it, you know, good defence that, to be fair. It's not easy to hang it around there because one thing we've not touched too much on yet, Peter, is the undulation there in that second part of the infield. It's just terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of bits where the camber changes quite abruptly and then can almost switch.
Oh,
that'll be unpopular.
That will be very unpopular. Oh, so will the rejoin. In all fairness, though, Fraser got out of it because he was going to run deep, wasn't he? And then, let's have a look. Because Fraser's gone deep.
Amateur steward, remember?
Yeah, I think Matthew's still gone for the apex. Probably, to be fair, he probably just... Oh, that's crabbing quite a lot, isn't it? He probably just expected Fraser to have slowed down that much that there just wasn't going to be contact. You know, the fact that Fraser did run deep, you could tell that he was going to slam on, and he was going to almost stop the car. But he still has the right to try and go for the corner. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that it ended in such heavy contact as well. And then, of course, I've developed a lisp. For Matthew Crisp to end up in the wall backwards as well, an extra hit for the car, which is really what finished it off, you could say. He's coming back out of the pits now, though, so he is going to continue, which is good. And it's just going to be a case of what can he do over the rest of the race meeting now, isn't it? We saw a few drivers, though. I mean, Fraser himself and Keanu Bourguignon, who have found themselves together on track again here in shot. These two flew through the order over the course of the night in Alton Park's round, didn't they?
They did indeed, yes, absolutely, and so it's not lost. And if you're going to have an incident like that, better to have it at this stage of the meeting so you can make your way throughout the other races. And we're riding on the boot lid now of Damien Owen Harris, Ollie Peacock using the full Audi following distance there, and Mark Woodhouse had a spin at the chicane. So these chicanes causing a lot of problems for the drivers.
Oh, there was contact in front with Keanu Bourguignon. Mark
Fraser got a nudge oh dear.
It just loosened the rear end of the car, didn't it?
Yeah.
And now
loosened a lot of things, I bet.
Oh yeah. It's just this mid-pack is just kicking off. Fraser Smith at the front of it with Bram Class, who, to be fair, has gained 4 places through all of this. He's still leading the consistency class as well by 6 positions from Dan Mould, who's just at the back of that there in the Ignium car, the black and blue machine. Fraser Smith putting the pressure on Bram as much as he can, but he knows that he's got this angry train of cars behind him. It's brilliant stuff. Dan Mould all over the back of PJ Clayson's. It's just never-ending racing here in this championship, but it's why we've come to love it so much. But this is, Dan looking for any gap. Well, he was trying to find any certain gap he could look for there. And now look at that at the front of this as well. Fraser Smith down the inside of Brown Class. Through he goes. And now he gets a run on the exit. PJ Clayson's gets a run on Chris Daines as well. And this is a bit of NASCAR driving here, 2x2s. Take the high line, take the low line.
Yeah, this is like, well, it's like, I'm sure Runrick had a song about that, about Loch Lomond, did they not?
I cannot confirm nor deny that.
You know, you must have heard the song Loch Lomond before. Have you been to any wedding ever?
I've been to a number of them, but off the title of it, I can't remember it, I won't lie.
Like, I'll take the high road.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. There we go. That's either given a lot of people flashbacks.
A bit more slurred, actually, to give it the full effect.
I'm sure everybody's either had flashbacks right now or happy memories, I'm sure. But we'll move on, because these battles are now just over the course of a lap. They're starting to spread out a little bit. Corentin Guinez, by the way, has got Naveed Hussein right behind him still. It's a HM Engineering 1, 2, 3. The three of them have managed to find their way to the front through everything going on. Naveed Hussein sort of moving cars out of Norbert Leitner's way earlier, so you could say he lightened the load in the course of work that needs doing in this race. This chicane, though, I mean, those curbs don't look that bad from outside the car, but they really do chuck it up in the air, don't they?
Yeah, they call them turtles. I mean, I have to say, I don't know if that's to stop people running over them because you don't want to hurt the turtles. But yeah, they're fairly more like landmines, I would say, because you look at the way the cars react over them. You don't really want to touch them too close. You can see them there, the blue bit. Wow, because it really unsettles the car. And of course, that was a bit of a sloppy one. And Daniele Guidici, not a great deal he could do there. He got nerfed by Mark Woodhouse, he's been the nerfer and the nerfee, if that's the correct nomenclature. Watch this. Down they go into the same bit of tarmac, and maybe a little bit of digital aero wake there as well.
Yeah, maybe. But I really appreciate that avoidance, to be fair, from Anton Dupin. That's gorgeous stuff. I'm wondering whether Daniele maybe just closed the apex off there. If you look at where Mark's car is, amateur steward Chaz. Look at this from Anton, though. Nope. You've got to love that. And the fact he doesn't hit that outside wall as well. What brilliant driving that was. It could have gone very wrong, because as you and I both know, if you chuck the front end of these cars about, that rear end is just along for the ride, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is. It's kind of like an afterthought stuck on the end of the car. And this is getting close. Miguel Freitas in. We've got Chris Danes off there. He'll get a slow down for that. Cutting over the track. It's a pity though that wasn't Anton Dupin's teammate Keanu Bourguignon, because can you imagine the Matrix references there?
They would have been plentiful, I'm sure. This is Bram Class and. You can tell I'm tense, can't you? Miguel Freitas there. That was very close indeed. But again, these lot here, I mean, we go, I would say Blimpy Boy, but it's too zoomed in. Whoever designed that blimp camera needs telling off. But look at the train. You don't need a blimp when you can see it from this angle. It looks fantastic. Chris Danes now looking down the inside of Miguel Freitas. Good avoidance. Well, you could call it that from Freitas. Good awareness to see that the move was on. Keanu Bourguignon trying to get involved as well now in the 11. 2x2 up the hill they go. A little bit of a tap on the back of Chris Danes' car, and another one, Get out of the way. That was very 1990 Super Touring, that was, wasn't it? Give him a guide round the corner. No, it's there, Chris. There it is. Oh, PJ. Oh, have it back. Have it back, Dan. Oh, PJ, lad. Come on. There's other cars on the road, mate.
That's your bedtime.
That was maybe a bit naughty there, you could say. There were other cars about, but wow, that was certainly a lively one. Let's have a quick look at that again then. Contact in the background. PJ bounces off the wall, and he's just left hand down though, and you don't need to be. I'm not sure if that was in retaliation to Dan or not, but
I think it was the bounce off the wall. I think he hit the wall that hard that he just came back onto the path there. He would have had left hand down trying to make the corner, I suppose, and that all happened quite quickly. But you don't need to worry about the blimp camera being a little bit off, Chaz, because here at the Charlotte Roval, they have the world's largest HD television. It's 200 feet wide and 80 feet tall. You can't miss a bit of the action on that.
I imagine our overlay would look wonderful if it was broadcasted onto it.
Tell you what, you do get it, but mind you, they've obviously not been to a housing estate in Scunthorpe, where there's probably 10 of them on the same street, all on finance, all in the Never Never. Apologies to anyone from Scunthorpe. I mean it.
He does. So this is the top three then. HM Engineering train with Naveed Hussein at the back collecting the tickets, but I'll tell you what, he's stayed with him, hasn't he? He's kept him honest at the moment. He's really up there with Quarantine, and the thing is, there's a bit of an accordion effect going on here. This is closing up quite a lot, and I think that it's not going to be long before Naveed has a pop at these boys.
You're remembering the promise as well? Remembering the dodgy shirt promise too?
Yeah.
he wins the race. I might have to go and get it out. I might have to go and get it out this cupboard in a minute, Chaz. Might have to take an early break.
Oh, boys, what has gone on there? What on earth has gone on there? Ryan Walker and Rob Jackson. So they're having a bit of a ding-dong. The bluest car in sim racing. Down the inside of Ryan. Oh, runs a little bit wide. Bit of a tap. That's all absolutely fine. It's just a moment. Some blue cones there that he can blend into. Now Ryan Walker looks like he's got the inside. He doesn't get as much of a run on Rob Jackson. No such run there either. So it must have been the next part of the banking that they came together on. I'm keeping an eye on what's going on in real time as well, guys. Don't you worry. Through the chicane. Oh, Ryan Walker gets a mega run off there by the look of it. Tries to go down the inside. Oh, he's on the apron. You don't really want to be doing that. Then he comes up and makes contact, and then... oh. Yeah, it all started by going under the apron, really. You don't need to be down there, do you? There is a sort of gentleman's agreement in motorsport that you don't do that. I mean, I'm not sure if any of these guys had discussed it beforehand, but didn't need to happen, really. I'm not sure if there was a need for Rob Jackson to give it that much left-hand down, but you never know. If he's down the banking, there's a natural turn to the left, isn't there? Let's hope there isn't here, because this is lively, Peter. This is full on M25, this.
Yeah, better manners though. For sure. It's like all the copies of the Sun will be like they'll be flying off the dashboard onto the floor right now beside all the empty coffee cups, cans of red, crushed cans of what's the Tesco energy drink? Is it
a Blue
KX
Spark?
Energy, the one that,
blue, oh yeah.
The one that's on the Plato for a while.
Yeah, it is KX. Yeah, KX Energy.
Yeah, 10 cans of that, and that was just for that day.
Yeah, and for some reason you don't have to crumple them up either, but for some reason they always are. It's like these Audis, really. You don't have to crumple them up, but these lot twos do. Anyway,
go back to the lease company next week. Fine.
That's all good. £5,000 an hour labour, I'll have you know. Matthias de Tige is on the back of Keanu Bourguignon, and for the race that these two have had in the midfield, they'll want £5,000 an hour. I tell you, they've had a real tough fight through the order here, but they're still up there. Car 11 is P11 at the moment, but what can he do about holding on against his countryman Matthias de Tige? He's always been exciting to watch in this championship. Really knows what he's doing in the TCR car, but oh, that was so close to the wall there. That was ridiculous. PJ Clayson's looks like he had a slowdown there. But it's still close at the front, you know, Peter. This is for second and third now. Norbert Leitner under pressure from reigning champion and teammate Corentin Guinez.
Yeah, I would have thought that maybe Corentin Guinez would have tried to make the move forward, but the call might have come over the radio to say, just hold station, guys. They might be trying actually to break away, because of course if Corentin throws a move on Leitner, or if Leitner throws a move on Boakler, that'll back them up into the chasing pack, and Naveed Hussain will get a real hurry along to be able to do that. So yeah, it's an interesting one, an interesting dynamic here, but you've got to think though that HM Engineering, if they can get a 1-2-3, they'll be absolutely delighted, especially given how quick Ollie Peacock was in qualifying in the early stages of this race. And Peter Hussain's not going to let them have this, is he? He's saying, I don't care about your 1-2-3. I want Peter to put his dodgy night out shirt on.
He is. He's trying it. Dan Mulder's gone off the circuit. We'll have to look back at that though, because there is only 10 seconds of this race left to go, and I believe Roman Boakler is going to take the checkered flag this time round. He is. And round 12 of the Simracersworld TCR Series, it's going to be a 1, 2, 3 for HM Engineering. Mega performance by the team. Naveed Hussain fourth, great stuff. Ollie Peacock, what a debut, mate. Fifth place, he'll be pleased with that. Damien Harris finishes sixth ahead of Fraser Smith. Miguel Freitas. Bram Klaas is going to win the consistency class for Simtech Racing. He didn't really look challenged all race for that one. Now what's going to happen behind him? The class of the field. Jessica Myers is going to be second in that class, and just behind there is Niles de Kuiper in the Radeon Motorsport by QSR Machine. He is going to win the Academy class this time round. Awesome stuff. What a way to start the evening though for HM Engineering, eh, Peter? That was glorious, you could say.
That really was. I tell you what, that has airs of, Chaz. You like this? This has airs of the last year of the Ford Mondeo Super Tourer with the quick fit, rapid fit livery. With who was it now? Was it Menu
Reed and Rydell?
Rydell, wasn't it? Yeah. Talk about throwing the kitchen sink at it.
If there is any series that or season that I know the most about, it's that one, because I had the VHS of that, and it's where I fell in love with the commentator Charlie Cox, just because of how phenomenal he is at what he does.
I was the same with the year before. Funnily enough, I wore the tape out. I actually broke it.
Yeah, there were. I imagine there was a few bits like during, especially the Snetterton night race, where I had a bit of a flutter in the video where it just suddenly went a bit funny. Anyway, this is your grid for the second race, everybody. Now, you all know these guys, they really do fly onto this grid. So we are just going to skim through it here and allow you to take a look, because in just a few moments they will be ready on the grid, pretty much. So we need to crack on and be ready for this one. But fantastic way to start the evening. Some unfortunate incidents there, but it's going to happen, and you're going to see it. Now, apparently this is the B main. I'm not quite sure what that means, but sounds like a karting reference. Anyway, to us, it's round 13 of the Simracersworld TCR Series, and it is underway. HM Engineering 1, 2, 3 off the line, of course, but what can the guys behind do? Ollie Peacock trying to open up turn 1 and get a good run on the exit. Naveed Hussein in there just behind as well. But look how spread out the field is. By the time they get to turn 1 here, Peter, Ryan Walker has apparently had an issue, and what on earth for Ryan Walker? He's having a torrid evening. But look at this lot here. Hello. The whole crowd is straight back on it. Damien Harris and Fraser Smith. Well, if you wanted Plato versus Neil, here it is. These two have been battling all season long, and this won't be the last time, will it?
No, not one. That's the same noise I make trying to get into my kilt. Come on! But interestingly, Guinez has been swamped off the start. He's back to 5th, and Hussein, he's got in about the HM Engineering guys there. He's in 3rd as well, and this is getting very busy. Woo. Oh, dearie me. Oh, Hussein's gone wide. Oh, little hit check. An Orbit Lightner. Now we know we didn't think there was going to be a breakaway, but Bopler's got a chance.
Bram Class has gone off. Oh, this is going to get messy. Oh, be careful, boys. Be careful. Oh, not be careful, Jason. Be careful, son, but just be careful, boys. Neil Stevenson's had an issue, but Bram Class went off at the chicane. What's happened here? He's chasing. That's for Miguel Freitas. The tiniest of touches with Chris Daines, and then Detige seem to have an issue as well. Look, they appear on the right. So if we go back to that and then look at Matthias Detige, oh wow. Now what goes on here? He's got Mark Woodhouse behind. Oh, Mark just gives him a headbutt, and he's gone straight on. Well, it's close racing, isn't it, mate? We wouldn't expect anything less. Oh, boys.
Tell you what, Chad, this has been my favourite round of the season already. This is just a brilliant track. It's quite funny because a lot of people, because it's not a Spa or a Silverstone or a really well-known circuit, people are like, I don't like it. But the racing here is always absolutely superb. So being completely selfish, the entertainment here at Charlotte is just brilliant.
Oh, it is. And to be fair, not long after this circuit came out, I was part of a fun evening of racing where we just messed about for a bit and drove these cars around here. They are hilarious to drive. That's not hilarious, though. That is Corentin Guinez off the circuit. And that was contact with Damien Harris, who has waited for him, in fairness. That's nice of him. Oh, there's been more issues. Anton Dupin has gone around as well. This chicane is honestly... I'm trying to click on him, everybody. There he is. This chicane has been the devil to some of these boys. But what happened there? I think Damien might have just... Oh, what's going on here? Oh, no. No. That's Anton Dupin.
I like it.
They go, to be fair, they go on the apron because they have to. And then... This is... Oh, he gets a hit off Jessica Myers. But Corentin Guinez, I think he just gets caught by Damien Harris here. Look, he looks to the inside, then he straightens up. Damien, I don't know where he was going there, whether he just knew that he wasn't going to get it stopped or not, and he just...
Yeah, he was trying his best to bail out. He knew that, like you say, he wasn't going to get it done, but just unlucky. In fact, actually tried his best because that curb is massive. I'm surprised the car didn't stop dead there. Oh, that was like a snooker break there from Hunter's. Oh, no, that was...
Jürgen Knockout, I think. Just...
Jürgen Knockout, yeah, well, not Jürgen Knockout.
Just chucks it in the middle, says, right, here, boys, watch this. Oh, watch that! Massive hit there for Lee Bowden. What a save that is. It says Ignium Motorsport, but that's clearly not an Ignium livery. I told him about this last week. Well, I didn't tell him, but, you know. Anyway, catch your breath. Right, who's leading? Roman Bokler. Naveed Hussein's second. Sorry, go on.
I was saying that at the start, amongst all the carnage, Bokler just had that opportunity, got that little bit of air early, that little bit of space early, and really pushing on now. And this is where he knows he's got a chance here to try and break the draft. And if he can, look at that, fastest lap of his race so far of anybody. And then Hussein takes 3/10 of a second out of him and takes 4/10 of a second out of Peacock. Naveed Hussein, this has been the drive of the season for the man in 007. He's obviously got a license to thrill here in Charlotte.
Doesn't need any of Q's gadgets for it, does he? PJ... Oh! PJ Clayson's. What has happened there, mate? He's not had an evening to remember. Now, this is going to get lively. Who have we got in there? He's down the inside, Louis Correa. And, oh, he's going to... Yeah, he gets clipped again. And then, what else? He's all right. Oh, that was Niles de Kuiper, I think. Who's... Well... I don't even have a pun for it, unfortunately. Matthias de Tige has had an issue.
Got another one, Chaz. Jürgen saying knockered out.
Oh, Matthias. He broke it. He full on broke that. And he knew it as well. As soon as he hit that wall, he knew that was the end of the... Oh, boys. Norbert Leitner. Well, he'll be light on vinyl if he gets any closer to that wall. Flipping neck. This is the thing, though. We said it before, didn't we? With how narrow this circuit is when you've got walls around it. Oh, well. That was a knockout, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. Jürgen. Oh, mate. Come on.
A McFlurry of cars coming up behind him.
Oh. I tell you what.
Look at that lap time from Naveed Hussein, 0.3 of a second quicker than Bokler again. So Bokler's not going to break away. Naveed Hussein is on the charge, first man into the 124s.
Really is on a charge now. Going after him. Can he keep it up though? That's the question. I was going to say there about Jürgen Knockout. I can't defend that rejoin as well as MacKay's employees can defend the fact that the milkshake machine never works. But it just maybe wasn't on. Great shot of the cars there as they sort of overlap through that first part of the lap. But look at this here. What a drive this has been by Naveed Hussein. I hope you know where that shirt in the wardrobe is, mate.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. We will... you know, I don't know what's worse, wearing the shirt or having to have a point of view webcam.
Well, we'll dip in now and then. I imagine if we get that sorted. It won't be till the following round though, everybody. We need to figure these things out. We're not going to shout stuff it. We'll do it live. But this is a nice battle that's going to have to go on live. Paul Godden on the back of Lee Bowden now. Lee apparently driving for Ignium Motorsport. Like I say, I'm just intrigued as to the livery, but he's lost positions. Oh, well, there's one of them. That's another one back off his teammate. Ben Hicks in the wall. What has happened to Ben? If the flipping thing will let me click on it. Here he goes. This was literally just in front of this, actually. Just as we went in here. Was the back end going to go? Yep. Bye, Ben. Oh, that's so painful to watch. And it just stops. It's so painful to watch because we've been there, haven't we? And
well, it happens way more than you'd think. You'd think, where's he going? But once you get off, that just shows you what the curbs can do, because they take so much grip and pressure off the tyre, basically, that the car becomes a bit of a projectile with not much way to guide it. So we're definitely on for a battle here, that is for sure. Hussein is all over the back of Bokler now, and they've both really dropped Peacock, Leitner and Smith. But, Chaz, I would think that Hussein, he'll be wanting to take his opportunity as soon as he can, and when he does so, that will back these guys up into the pack of Peacock, Leitner and Smith.
Yeah, that's where he needs to be careful here.
Have you been in an accident? Call Peacock, Leitner and Smith.
Well, there you go.
We might be about to be in an accident.
does need to get back on the circuit, in in my opinion. But yeah, gets it done at the end of the day. I think that was just a lack of pace out of there from Roman Beauclerc hitting that curb. I was going to say that Naveed just needs to be cautious. Not like that. I was going to say he needs to be cautious of his approach to this, because if he plays it clever, he'll stay behind Roman and not force him to defend, because you don't want to be the car that's leading in the slipstream or giving away the slipstream into the final chicane for the last time. I think he's damaged that car, though. You know, I don't think.
Yeah, right-hand side damage. He hit the wall, just going over the start-finish line.
Yeah, I think it's bent the steering or something, because it just doesn't seem to want to turn the way it was before. Look, he's wide again there. We saw how tucked in he was before, although he's staying with Beauclerc. It's going to be interesting to see how the car behaves through the chicane, because I think that's going to be the main telling point. They get so close to that wall there, but that's what it's all about. Oh no, Bourguignon. Keanu's around. Was that engine smoke?
Oh, he's barbecued his engine.
Keanu barbecue. What's happened here? Has he just bounced it off the wall on the right, do you reckon?
I'm pretty sure he's nuked the engine, but I don't know how you would do that, really, because the gearbox often won't let you.
Oh,
that'll do it. Oh, my word.
That'll make you jump as well. I've seen somebody hit that before, and it have a very similar effect, but not that bad. I didn't see it stop the car on the spot. I saw it sort of spit the car really hard left, but that's clearly, well, that's attributed to the fact that this is a sim, everybody. These things are joined together as polygons, and he's obviously hit the sweet spot between two of them where that little aerial is. That was a massive hit, though, and I hope for his sake he's not on a direct drive wheel.
Yeah, because there wasn't as if there was like a kind of, you know when you're having an accident, you kind of know, you can see the wall coming and you've got time to maybe take your hands off the wheel or whatever. But
yeah.
There, that happened very quickly. Oh my. Oh, matron.
Indeed, that is not an ideal scenario for Keanu Bourguignon. Hope he's okay. But the race goes on. So Kimber Hate says that's a bug in the Matrix. Brilliant. Brilliant, Kim. I'll give you that. That's fantastic. That's outdone us, I think, so far tonight. Naveed Hussain, though, he's not letting this go, is he? Certainly on the back of him, and certainly putting the pressure on. He may have battered that car in, but he says, no, I'll die another day. Chucks it down the inside. Naveed Hussain takes the race lead. Lovely stuff, that. That was gorgeous.
Threads it through the golden eye of a needle.
I was thinking of a golden eye one as well. Oh, well, what a great move that was. That's going to give him the lead, of course. Now, what else have we got going on further down? This is Michael Blake, second in the consistency class at the minute, only to the man in front, Daniele Giudici. Paul Godden is leading. He's leading the charge off the circuit there. He's leading the academy class at the moment. He's got a few places over Jürgen Knockaert, who is just here, with Anton Dupin flying down the inside. So our class leaders, other than Naveed Hussain, not really under too much pressure at the moment. Not too much bother for them, but it's just being consistent around this circuit. I mean, these guys have shown us right now how difficult that is, and it's just, it isn't a track you can be consistent at, I don't think. It's as simple as that. You just cannot be, because of how small the margins are here. You have to just get it perfect every single time, don't you?
Indeed, yeah, absolutely. This is, tell you what, from for Naveed Hussain here to be limping this car along with that bit of damage on the side is absolutely fantastic, I have to say. Roman Beauclerc right in the draft here. But tell you what, I think that Hussain's still got the pace to win this race, Chaz.
Yeah, it seems like the car's doing all right, doesn't it? And I think it's just on that infield section, you know. I mean, away from the banking where he's not lost any speed. He just seems to have some real commitment around those first few parts, and it's just working wonders. It really is. He chucks it over those curbs as well. He really does attack that, and you need to do that to get a quick lap round here. It gives you a really strong run across the line, and even though it's not the biggest straight in the world, it's corners like that that make the difference, and this chicane here. If you get those two nailed, especially that bus stop chicane there, you're on for an absolute belter of a lap, because the momentum you can carry out of there into these final corners is just paramount.
It is, and I think it's also important to consistently get it right, because if you get it wrong, Yeah, there's not really any there's not any gimmies. If you get it wrong, we've seen a lot of accidents at the at the chicanes, so it's really a danger point. But Norbert Leitner now looking backwards rather than forwards. Wow, they get so close to that wall. Fraser Smith right on his case here. You can get a real close look to the front of, in case anyone who's never driven in the outside lane of the motorway anywhere in the United Kingdom, it doesn't know what the close up to the front of an Audi looks like. There you go.
Onto the brakes they go. You
can always Audi drivers. I just don't understand. Or BMWs, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. Or Mercedes Sprinter 313 CDIs with no sign writing. This is Fraser Smith.
Faded offside writing that was there before, but it's been removed on the cheap.
Yeah, and the doorstep on the back of it slightly bent up in one corner.
And why is a vehicle that's 18 months old so rusty?
Especially on the left rear arch. Fraser Smith then, he's got no rust on his arches at the minute because he's driving that quickly that it'll all just fall off and go away. Norbert Leitner is going to have to drive in his mirrors a little bit here, I'm thinking, because Fraser is looking, as ever, menacing. And he wants to try and go after his teammate. Ollie Peacock, who, to be fair, not had all the airtime in the world over the course of this debut, but he's right there with the race leaders again. He could very well get second place off Roman Bokler here.
He could indeed, yeah. He's been mighty impressive, has Ollie Peacock. You see him there nice and smooth around the turn 8 there, coming onto the banking, and he's right in the draft now of Bokler, so he's kind of bridged the gap. He's escaped from the battle for the podium and now in the battle for the overall win here. Hard on the brakes they go, and whoa, Bokler, I think Bokler maybe just scuffed the wall on the brakes there, so they're not leaving anything to chance. Now, what did I say in qualifying? Oh, they'll leave a bit of margin in the race. Well, I talk rubbish a lot, and I certainly did there.
It's just mad how close they get. Okay, wrong car, Chaz. There you go. There's Fraser Smith looking down the inside into the chicane on Norbert Leitner. Nothing doing there. We're into the last quarter of this race, last few minutes. So excuse me, safer barrier. Into turn 1 again. You can see Leitner's just putting the car not completely to the inside line of every corner, but he's just putting it where it needs to be to defend somewhat from Fraser. Fraser knows that he's doing that though, and he's opening up his line to the corner, isn't he, by taking a bit of a later apex. It's very much a stalemate here in the tactics, although I say that, and Fraser's actually got quite the run there. Chooses to go to the left though, because he knows that if he can hang it around the outside here, he's going to be on the inside for the next corner. Just isn't able to do it there, Peter, but you've got to try, haven't you?
You do, yep, you absolutely do. And Fraser Smith is, recovering from a slightly lukewarm race 1. A little bit of an incident taking Fraser out, but here he goes. He's going to get a really good run now. Very good run. He goes up to the high side on the banking. Does Fraser now? Oh, Norbert Leitner snips him off, but actually, for Leitner.
Oh, that was full on netcode, that.
Yeah, a little bit of digital aero wake there, causing that contact.
You can't blame either of them for that. That was really close racing.
Really unlucky.
They gave each other so much room. I think, if for anyone that's wondering about the technicalities of that, I think what set that off is actually Fraser hitting the curb. It would have maybe triggered something to say, oh, the car's going to jump this way, and then that's so gutting that is. And hopefully Norbert looks back at that and realises that, they gave each other the perfect amount of room. That would have been so wonderful to see. Oh, Dan Mould. Oh, on the apron, a little bit naughty. But he's got a good run out of it, and that's for the class lead as well. Help if I click the right car. Into the chicane and gets the job done, in all fairness. Good stuff, good opportunism.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of fantastic little crafty moves so far in this race, and only a couple of minutes to go. So I would probably be white flag when the leaders come around, and it will be a showdown. Can Naveed Hussain hang on, or will he be pipped by Bokler or possibly even Peacock now? In third, you can actually see them coming onto the high banks. Of course, it must be a fantastic circuit to watch out here, Chaz, because of course it's kind of like a Scalextric set laid out in front of you.
Yeah, you can see pretty much all of it from the grandstands. Roman Bokler doesn't need to see any more of that wall. Flipping heck. He's going to have some of the paint on the door Just so close to it. Great to see, though, because these drivers are millimetre perfect at the moment. Oh, and as Lily Jourdain's off. It's not a place to go off that. Takes one of the cones with him as a souvenir. That's not going to help his pace. Needs to get rid of that as soon as possible. There you go, put it there. That's the commitment cone, everybody. It's a new target, you could say. A Brem class now, having Chris Danes go around, and that car looks quite damaged as well. I think he's just letting him go there. Mats Borg Anderson into the pits. It's a very oddly placed camera for it, but he's in the pits. But Naveed Hussain, he wants this battle to start behind him now, doesn't he, Peter? Because if it does, then the pressure of those two fighting each other is just going to let him get away slightly.
Yeah, exactly. I think one move here from Ollie Peacock, and yeah, that could be enough for Hussain to win this race. And well, as they come in, I think it's going to be very, very tight if this is going to be the last lap or not. I think it probably will be, actually, as they come into towards the penultimate chicanes here at the Charlotte Roval. And oh, it's going to be so tight here. Can Naveed Hussain hang on? Looks like an
Boakler's gone. I think he's disconnected. Now he's come back. Look, I was just checking where he'd gone there, and he had disconnected for a moment, and then he's come back. This is going to be tight, but I think we are going to get the checkered flag. Get the shirt out, Peter, because Naveed Hussain into the chicane for the last time. Boakler's gone deep. He's going to surely get a slowdown. Peacock's going to go for second place. He's going to get it, but Naveed Hussain for Ignium Motorsport gets the win at Charlotte, and a beautiful drift to go with it. What a drive. Who's going to win in the consistency class? Dan Mould's gained 21 places in this race. 21st on the grid he started. No, my maths is awful. 31st on the grid to 10th overall. What a drive. Dan Mould, mega stuff. Across the line he goes. He wins the consistency class from Michael Blake. Jessica Myers finishes in third. And Paul Godden is going to win it for Sim Stickers in the Academy class. Awesome stuff from him. Jürgen Knockhart is, despite his snooker antics earlier, he's going to finish second in class, with Dean Timms is going to finish ahead of Rob Jackson, who's just dipped into the pits. Look at that battle with Anton Dupin and Mark Woodhouse to the line. Oh, NASCAR stuff across the line. Bit of contact. But Naveed Hussain takes the win, Peter. Wow, oh wow, what a race.
What a superb race and a great drive from Naveed Hussain. Thoroughly deserved, and that's well worth me breaking out the dodgy shirt out of the cupboard. That's earned it.
I'd certainly say so as well, mate. So I look forward to seeing that. But there you go, everybody. The first two races of the evening out of the way. I say out of the way as if I didn't want to watch them, but wow, that was so much fun indeed. We'll just quickly recap the results here then that we've had. And Heat 1 being the first and very first race of the evening. Roman Boakler taking the win from Norbert Leitner and Corentin Guinness, a 1-2-3 for HM Engineering, with Naveed Hussain fourth, ahead of Ollie Peacock, Damien Harris, Fraser Smith and Miguel Freitas. Brown Class finishes 9th, winning his class as well. Chris Danes 10th, with Keanu Bourguignon and Matthias Tige, with Mats Borg Anderson just behind them as well. Anton Dupin and Mark Woodhouse just together behind that. Ahead of Jessica Myers and Daniele Giudici, second and third in their class. And Niles de Kuiper winning the Academy class in race 1. Ben Hicks finishes 19th with Matthew Crisp in 20th. Anders Lily Jourdain 21st with Michael Blake just behind. Then it was Paul Godden and Lee Bowden, with Scott Malcolm, Craig Schill, Jürgen Knockhart, Louis Correa, Danny Fenning and Rob Jackson rounding out your top 30. Dan Mould 31st, with Jean-Louis Deschamps 32nd, Dean Timms 33rd, PJ Claysons was 34th, a lap down, same with Tito Bonilla, Neil Stevenson 2 laps down, Ryan Walker 5 laps down after that big incident, and he was the last driver to cross the line. And I believe, if this works, no, for some reason the heat names have been all different for some reason. I'm not sure why, but there is your result for race 2. If you'd like to do the honours, Peter.
I would love to, yes. Naveed Hussain, our winner then, by 1.2 seconds. from Ollie Peacock and Fraser Smith classified in third because I would imagine Roman Bokler not able to serve his slowdown penalty in time and given a post-race time penalty. Miguel Freitas finished fourth with Corrington Greenhouse recovering to fifth. Damian Harris was sixth with Norbert Leitner seventh, Matthew Crispin eighth, Dan Mould ninth, and Michael Blake rounding out the top 10. Jessica Myers was 11th, followed by Daniele Guidici, Max Borg Anderson, Lee Bowden, and Paul Godden. Scott Malcolm, the Falkirk Flyer, was 16th, with Roman Bokler classified in 17th position. Disaster for the Frenchman after fighting for the win. Bram Klaas was 18th, followed by Jurgen Norkert, Anton Dupin, Mark Woodhouse, Dean Timms, Ben Hicks, Anders Lilly-Jourdain, Jean-Léger Deschamps, Louis Correa, Danny Fenning, and Chris Danes in 28th. In the last few, Rob Jackson, Keanu Bourguignon, Craig Schill, Tito Manila, Niels de Kuiper, Neil Stevenson, Matthias de Tees, PJ Claessens, and Ryan Walker, rounding out our 37 cars.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much indeed. We've had a wonderful first two races here at the Charlotte Roval. We're just going to take a quick break here while we just watch the warm-up session. Peter and I will just take a 5-minute break just while this is going on, just to make sure we're hydrated and ready for the final race of the evening. But give us a few minutes, everyone, and we'll be right back with you. Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott here with Peter MacKay on Simracersworld TV for the Simracersworld TCR Series, rounds 12, 13 and 14 from the Charlotte Roval. The drivers are just out at the moment in their warm-up session for the final race of the evening. Peter, we've had an absolute belter so far, and a lot of it is owed to just how wonderful this circuit is as a combination with these cars, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been an absolute treat to watch these guys go at it, and a new winner for the season, with Naveed Hussain. An absolutely superb drive under a lot of pressure from Roman Bokler for the majority of the race, and actually ran Roman down and went by him. So really strong drive from Naveed Hussain. But now, of course, we have our partly reversed grid for race 3, and given what we've seen, getting through the pack safely is no easy feat. So the drivers come with a little bit more pace who are starting in the mid-pack. They're going to have to be super careful not to drop too many points in this race. Yeah,
that's it. You need to just have your wits about you, especially with the amount of incidents that we've seen as well. I mean, it's such a narrow and demanding circuit, and obviously we've spoken about the undulations and the banking. It makes these cars behave in ways that some other circuits just don't. And I think maybe it's taken a bit of getting used to for some of these drivers if they haven't dealt with this sort of combination before. But I mean, it's made for some very exciting stuff to watch. Daniele Giudici decides he doesn't like the bus stop chicane, as you can see there. But the session is already over, as there's a massive slide by Anders Lejorde. Oh, it's a shame it ends up in the wall. But we now are going to have our third and final race of the evening here at Charlotte, and I cannot wait for this one. Daniele Giudici that we just saw there is going to be on pole position for it, with Jessica Myers, Michael Blake and Dan Mould, meaning that it's 4 consistency class cars in the top 4. Matthew Crisp, Norbert Leitner, Damien Harris, Corentin Guinez, Miguel Freitas, Fraser Smith, Ollie Peacock, Naveed Hussain. What a lineup behind them as well. That is going to be frightening. Then we have Mats Borg Anderson, Lee Bowden, Paul Godden, Scott Malcolm, Roman Bokler, Bram Klaas, Jürgen Knockaert 19th and Anton Dupin rounding out your top 20. But this is going to be an absolute corker of a race, everybody. If you think that the racing's been good already, get ready for this one, because round 14 of the Simracersworld TCR Series from the Charlotte Roval is away. Dan Mould has not taken to the grid for some reason. He was the empty spot on the left-hand side there. Not sure what's gone on for Dan, but it's a real shame and a big opportunity missed for championship points. There's already contact with one of the fiercely forward cars there. I think that was Damien Harris just getting a bit of a kiss in the right corner. Jürgen Knockaert's had an issue through turn 1 and lost a few places as well, but it always looks like quite the tame start at that point, doesn't it, Peter? And then as the laps go on, that train behind all these lots starts to get lively.
Yep, and it's going to be lively at the front as well. Jess Myers there in second position, and it's Dupin and Scott Malcolm having a bit of an argy-bargy moment there. But yeah, Jess Myers, we know that Jess is not shy, so Jess will be really trying to make their way through.
Oh, it's kicked off in the middle of the field. Jürgen Knockaert's flying down. There's a number of them. Oh, Stevenson's gone into the back of... Who's that? Is that his teammate? No, that is Neil Stevenson, sorry. Oh, I'm trying to remember. That's Rob Jackson, isn't it? He's just ploughed his teammate out of the way. There's been a big moment for Jürgen Knockaert, Anton Dupin and Mark Woodhouse. I'm trying to get to it, but it's just not ticking over for some reason. Here it is. So it's Mark Woodhouse round the outside of Scott Malcolm. Oh, he's bounced off the wall, hit Anton Dupin. He's been clipped by Dean Timms. Where's Jürgen Knockaert coming to this? Oh, he's been hit already. There's more cars off on the inside. Oh, and there's one of the Flemish cars. Oh, the rejoin, Jürgen. I tell you what, he's been showing us a number of different ways that you can rejoin a circuit this evening, hasn't he, Peter?
Yeah, not easy. Sometimes in the heat of the battle, you just want to get going sometimes, so it is difficult. But
yeah, definitely.
And sometimes the perception can be difficult too. But Daniele Giudici, well, we know he's happy at even in the worst of times. He's got to be having the biggest. He's got to have a grin bigger than that big telly they've got at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
I'd imagine so. I'll be very pleased with this so far. A number of the consistency class drivers still up there. Ollie Peacock going down the inside of Michael Blake. He's now got his stablemate Miguel Freitas alongside him. This is the Simortal Team Mad Machine with the sort of flagship Team Mad car of Miguel Freitas there says no, no, no to Damien Harris. Michael Blake lets him go through. Michael's now surely going to try and defend a bit from Damien Harris, but it's not too easy to do around the banking. Side by side they go up towards the chicane. Behind them is your race 2 winner Naveed Hussein, and then Roman Bokler as well. Where is Corentin Guinez in all of this as well, I hear you ask? Well, he is currently in 12th place, and he is just sort of watching what's going on in front. What is going on here, boys? You don't need to move over, Naveed. Come on. I'm all for them putting pressure on one another, but the contact... Oh, Michael Blake's been bullied out of the way there, and he loses yet more places. He will not be happy with that one. He did, just, let's face it, he got pushed out of the way there. Down the inside. Oh, there's more contact as well. That was the number 17 of Mats Borg Anderson getting some help from Brown Class. You could call it help. There's a car off there down the inside. Naveed Hussein has lost a lot of time as well, actually. Ben Hicks, Tito Bonnier and Craig Schill have also had an issue. That's these three. This is Ben Hicks. So Craig Schill down the inside of... Oh, that's Tito Bonnier. Didn't see him coming, and the three of them just cause a bit of an M6 traffic jam, unfortunately. At the front, though. Trust me, yep. There is pressure on Daniele Giudici. Still, that's Craig Vrolik in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Indeed, 2 fiercely forward cars in the top 4. Jessica Myers with Matthew Crisp just behind, and then Ollie Peacock in there as well. Ollie's looking down the inside, but look at this for the lead. Norbert Leitner down the inside of Daniele Giudici. Beautiful move. Nicely done. And oh, it's kicked off behind Jessica Myers. Has ended up the other way around.
I think maybe come together with Ollie Peacock there, and yeah, good idea to hit reverse there. And oh my word, bowling ball.
Well, I was told to plug his driver coach in, but I'm not sure that's the time to do it, unfortunately. Jessica Myers now down to 22nd place, but that's the thing with that bus stop, you know, when you're so close all the way around the banking, it's easy to just focus on the car in front of you or next to you for so long that you do just miss your braking point. And with it being one of those circuits where a lot of the walls look the same, it is easy to overdo it. Oh, there's a hit there. That was Roman Bokler on the back of Ollie Peacock. It's the 2 full send racing machines now against 2 of the HM engineering cars. So seems like the battle is definitely on. Roman Bokler all over the back of Ollie. Looks down the inside now. Gets to the curb. Nearly contact. Fraser's now going to look down the inside, surely. And then Corentin Guinez is going to be waiting in the wings to see what he can do. Fraser tucks it in well. Look at that. He's really done a good job of holding in there. Make sure that Roman Bokler knows he's there. Corentin's going to try and get in the slipstream. And then he's going to duck down. Try and get the run on Fraser as well. What's he going to do? Tries to force Fraser into going deep. Looks like it kind of worked. Oh, Corentin, that was, to be fair to him, that was really good awareness. He knew he was going in the back of the car in front there, and he slammed on the anchors, didn't he?
Yeah, he did indeed. He did indeed. Well, we could be looking at... oh dear. Oh, my. Oh, that's a big hit in the wall. Bourguignon. Dearie me.
It all sort of kicked off a bit there. Let's have a look. Oh, blimp. Oh. Dean Timms, I think, was... Sorry, we are going to have a look back at this. Louis Carrera had his own moment all this time. And then Dean Timms has got... That's Lee Bowden behind him in the 57. And then it's Keanu Bourguignon, isn't it? Number 11.
Indeed. Yep. And Dean Timms, he goes into the wall on the left in the 46 car. Well, it's... Valentino Rossi's birthday today, number 46. Many happy returns, Valentino. 42 today, and he runs that number, and oh my God.
That was a...
Well, happy birthday and Merry Christmas, not for Keanu Bourguignon. Dear me, that was unceremonious.
Yeah, that was a large hit, especially flat side on into the wall as well. One of the nastiest ways to go in a race car, especially driver's side as well. It was left-hand side, wasn't it? So that was the probably one of the worst hits it could have been. But look at that. Norbert Leitner has absolutely left this lot. Daniele Giudici doing a great job holding on to second place at the moment. And I mean, he's got Freitas, Crisp, Harris, Peacock, Fraser Smith, Corentin Guinez and Mats Borg Anderson behind him. So he has got some very stiff competition going on there. And it'll be good for him in terms of the Consistency Class Championship to hold on as best he can.
Indeed, yeah, he'll get an enormous chunk of points here. He's well ahead of his nearest rival, which is Bram Class back in 11th. So that won't be points for first and points for second. That will be points for sixth and points for 11th. So Daniele Guidici will get a good lunge on his competitors, and doing the sensible thing to let these pro class nutcases go ahead of him and let them have a punch up. And you never know, you might get a couple of freebies here. You never know.
Norbert Leitner is showing us out of the race and is dropping down the order.
Oh my!
The man that was leading now. Excuse the overlay. Doesn't say that he's disconnected or anything yet. So we've got our fingers crossed that Norbert Leitner does reappear, but you don't normally see a blink last that long. So Miguel Freitas could very well have just inherited the lead of this race. And in all fairness, I have to say, no offence to Norbert, but it'd be good to see Miguel back up there on the top step after taking the championship win first time round. Damien Harris now trying to defend from Ollie Peacock. Ollie's been great so far. Really excited to see how he goes for the rest of the season as well. But it's his teammate that's just a couple of places back. He's not bothered about that at the minute though. He wants to fly the flag and move fiercely forward and gives it the full send down the inside into the chicane. Good stuff on Damien Harris. Good awareness from Damien as well though. You know, he left the room. That's the main thing here. Now this is Lee Bowden. And again, we've just got these amazing midfield battles, haven't we, Peter? It's just kicking off all over the place. I love it.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. We're not even at halfway distance here. And I tell you what, Chaz, we are staring down the barrel. We are staring down the barrel of Corentin Guinez not picking up a win at all across this entire meeting, which, from my memory, I don't think that's something we've seen in the Z1 Dashboard Winter Series or in this series so far of the meetings he's attended. Maybe, yeah, absolutely. Well, there was, like you say, it was who was the ice lolly and who was the tongue there, because they stuck together like that. Quite unusual there as well. But great run from Matthew Crisp. Not often do you see him running ahead of his teammate Damien Harris, who probably takes on the lead of the team leader. But yeah, brilliant run from Matthew Crisp. Ollie Peacock, he's got the bit between his teeth, and you have to say, Chaz, that Ollie Peacock was very fortunate to get away with that blunder on the brakes. I mean, really, it was actually the cars that he made contact with that came off far worse. He's hardly any damage on that car. And he's going to make a move on Matthew Crisp here, and oh, this is going to get tight. Oh, dear me! And look at Damien. Oh no! Oh my! Oh dear! Oh! Oh my!
Apologies, that I realised I muted my mic for a second there. Yeah.
What do you have, Chaz?
Yeah, I'm going to keep
Let
my
Bart
mouth shut.
Daleman worry about that one.
Yeah, that's a Bart Daleman job, that, unfortunately. Either way, the fact is that Damien Harris is now second, Peacock is third, Fraser Smith has now been promoted to fourth. He's got Corentin Guinez just behind him. And as they go on to the infield or the midfield part of the circuit. Anyway, the up and down, the crests, and all the wonderfully difficult bits, and cutting the edges fine. Oh, never mind cutting it fine. Fraser decides to cut the wall apart. 4th place may not be his for much longer with the loss of momentum there. Here's the battle behind. Daniele Giudici out. Bram Class has actually got up to 8th place. He's gained 10 spots in this race. Chris Daines has gained 18 and he is now 10th. What a drive again from Chris Daines in the Eclipse Racing car, and he's not going to stop there by the look of it, is he?
No, he's got a potential here. He's got Michael Blake right ahead, and also Bram Class as well. And Chris Daines will be hoping to get by them. He is in the class above, so he won't want to be finishing behind those in the class below. But I tell you what, I don't think Damien Harris would have got away with that particular pile up there without significant damage. And I wonder if that's been Christmas come early for Miguel Freitas. Yeah, look at that. There's quite a bit of damage on the front of Damien's car. Once again, Ollie Peacock has a Mario Kart force field around his car and still carrying on. But looks like Miguel Freitas is going to get back to oh dear, he's going to get back to the victory lane. Oh, a place where he hasn't been for quite some time.
Yeah, indeed. Like I said, having the win, the championship win as well in the first season. I think he took 7 race wins in a row. There was a number of race meetings where he won both races on the night, to be fair. And it's just a complete contrast, really, to that season. You know, his performances have still been strong and they've still been fast, but it's just the fact that this series has really, really upped its game, and everybody has been fighting so closely for the top spots. It's just been such a contrast. It's amazing. It really is.
It has indeed. It's well, you see Matthew Crisp, you know it's bad when you've been at the front of a race and you're in the YouTube chat comments before the checkered flag comes out. It's never good. And Matthew Crisp says no words. Well, he's thought of 2 so far, so that's good.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
As the night goes on, I suppose. Matthew Crisp has, apparently he's only just stopped. I'm not sure whether he got back out. Oh no!
Oh, it's my back marker. Oh, goodness!
That was Tito Bonilla.
Oh, he's
wow!
Just driving along, mind his own business, and then bang!
I don't think it's wise to keep circulating. That's not a car. Let's face it. It's like something out of Robot Wars. What on earth?
No, that's the new edition of the Honda Civic Type R.
So you got Fraser Smith in there. Tito, I don't really. Oh, that's a massive hit for the Ignium car.
Absolutely nothing Tito could do there at all, the way I see that.
No.
He's just driving along, doing exactly what lap traffic should do. Just hold your line, and oh dear. And you know, Fraser was just unlucky. It's quite blind coming out of that exit there, and you're really actually going a lot quicker than it looks. And it's not been Fraser's day, has it?
No, it certainly hasn't. But he still managed to hold on to 3rd place, though. That's the thing. He may have the damage on the front, and Corentin Guinea's going around the outside, but he's still going to be in a place where he can get a bunch of points. And I think that now, with less than a quarter of the race left to go, that's what he needs to draw from this, because you have to think about the long haul, don't you, in the whole championship scenario.
You do. You have to think this is a long season. Of course, there are a lot of rounds, 3 races at each round, and oh, dear me. Oh, PJ Clayton's just pancaking the wall there. Jess Myers moving by in the Corgi Mobile, and there you go. There it is. But we knew that the Charlotte Roval was going to be tough, but this race 3, like a lot of reverse grids are, Chaz, this has been particularly brutal.
It has indeed, yeah. Survival of the fittest, I think, so far, really. But, you know, a lot of them caught out, unfortunately, by incidents that weren't their fault. Damien Owen Harris comes back out on track, so he does continue. He needs to get back out there and get the points. That is Rob Jackson right in front of him, which is for position. So he's straight into a fight on track to try and claim more positions. Now, Bram Class, he is directly behind Daniele Giudici, who is leading the consistency class on track at the moment. Daniele will be very, very pleased. Oh, although he does kiss the wall. Now that's going to lose him quite a lot of momentum. Can we just say as well, I know Dan Mould got 21 places gained in the last one. Chris Daines has gained 21 here. PJ Clayson's has gained 25. There's some beautiful drives through the field here. And it seems that when you start a bit further back and avoid some of the chaos, you do all right.
Yeah, be great racing if there wasn't anybody around you. It doesn't quite work like that though. It's still 3 wide into turn 1. How do you like it? God, I'm into fitness, fitting this touring car up the inside.
Wow. Well, it can't get much better, everybody, when it comes to our puns. I'm sorry, but Chris Daines, this has been a really strong performance by him, to be honest. And again, it just comes back to the point that, you know, Chris took quite a long break from sim racing and he's come back and he's just as strong as he was back then. You know, he's always been quick, and he seems to just be getting better and better every single round now. Just needs more luck.
That's why they call him the Chris Daines, remember?
Yeah, very true. Well, not too long to go now though, Peter. A minute and a half, maybe one more lap after this one.
Yeah, it depends where the leader takes the white flag, but Brown Class is going to let Chris Daines have it, and that was a bit sloppy. How many times have we seen that tonight? Oh my word. They've what have they all had for their tea tonight, Chaz?
Well, I don't know, but in all
tequila?
Honesty, yeah, potentially. Oh, Ollie Peacock's in the pits. I'm wondering whether is that a drive-through?
Is it an incident penalty?
Yeah.
Is there an incident limit?
They do get a drive-through for a certain amount of incident points, so I believe that it's down to that. He's just come straight through and gone back out. Not that you'd know with all the concrete in the way, but yeah, he has come straight back out. Miguel Freitas, though, he has now got a 5.4 second lead, and he leads the only other gentleman that has been a champion of this series as well, Corentin Guinez. These two, both champions. Their number choices at completely opposite ends of the spectrum to one another. Corentin Guinez car 1, Miguel Freitas car 999. So, very fitting, I think, really, but it's about how many race wins Miguel took in the first season by the feel of it. It was a hell of a season. But it's been a strong drive this evening. You know, it's just been another typical Miguel drive for the last 2 seasons. Just under the radar, bagging those points where they matter. And he's done a very, very clean job of it. He may be missing a wing mirror on the right, but if any of these cars come home with both wing mirrors attached, then I owe them a beer. But final corner in round 14 of the Simracersworld TCR Series for Miguel Freitas. Gives me great pleasure to say that he wins round 14. What a drive. Nicely done. Corentin Guinez somehow again on the podium, but no win this evening. Fraser Smith another podium, and Daniele Giudici is going to win the consistency class. Mega stuff. Bram Class and Roman Bokler. Oh, boys, come on. That sums up the evening, that. Chris Daines just about... Oh, okay. Gets past Ollie Peacock. PJ Clayson's crosses the line in 10th place, but wins the Academy class. So, mega stuff from PJ. 26 places gained in that race there. That was just awesome, wasn't it, Peter?
Yeah, that's an amazing drive, especially here at Charlotte. As we've seen, you can't really nudge by and make moves on the track that easily. But I think this probably also, I'm not taking anything away, but it's I think that also shows just how high the attrition rate was.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've had, 27th place down to 37th. So 10 cars out of this one. No, not even that. More than that. 11 cars, including the 37th car of Matthias de Tige, ending up out of that race. But wow, oh wow, we had a lot to look at there. You could say there are still cars coming across the line, I believe, although no, Keanu Bourguignon has crossed the line, so that is going to be the end of that one. And we'll give you the feature race results for round 14 of the Simracersworld TCR Series. Miguel Freitas takes the win, Corentin Guinez second, Fraser Smith in third, an all-star podium. Daniele Giudici finishes fourth ahead of Roman Bokler. Chris Daines, what a drive from him in that one. He gained another, 21 places in that race. Ollie Peacock 7th after a very attritional one for him. Michael Blake 8th ahead of PJ Clayson's in 9th. And Jessica Myers, despite the contact and the spins, rounds out the top 10. Scott Malcolm climbed up the order to finish 11th. And then we have Paul Godden in 12th. Just trying to figure out who it is that's been given a penalty here. Someone else. Jean-Louis Deschamps 13th. Danny Fenning 14th. Lee Bowden is 15th. Then Ryan Walker, Niles de Kuiper, and Damien Harris recovers to 18th place. But if you do bear with me, I'm trying to see who has been given a penalty in the top few, because it seems like everybody's been bumped up a spot. But I can't, for the life of me, figure out. Bram Class. Bram Class crossed the line in 6th. But I think he might have got a slowdown over that final chicane, you know, because we saw the contact, didn't we? Yeah, he's there, 21st. Jürgen Knockhart then finishes 19th ahead of Mark Woodhouse. Then it's Bram Class. Then we have Ben Hicks, Craig Schill, and Anders Lillejorde. Keanu Bourguignon 25th. Rob Jackson 26th. Matthew Crisp 27th ahead of Anton Dupin. Then we have Naveed Hussein, Mats Borg Anderson, Tito Bonilla, Norbert Leitner, Dean Timms, Louis Correa, Neil Stevenson, Dan Mull, and Matthias Katij, all not finishing that race. That was a lively one. I mean, we do sometimes say, oh, I'm going to need a drink after that one, but wow, that was certainly an enlightenment, if that's the word. I'm struggling for words, to be honest, but there was a lot going on, and I think a lot of it can be attributed to the fact that it is this circuit, can't it, Peter?
For definite, yeah. It's not a circuit where guys will be doing a lot of mileage on either. That's definitely one thought to be considered. And like we say, we see this at street circuits like Long Beach, Detroit, etc. Montreal is a very good example. And here, a big part of the circuit here is like that. And then when you get up on the high banks, you're building up so much speed and then hard on the brakes, and then the gap going through the chicanes is so much more narrower than you think, and it is inevitable to get a lot of incidents. But especially with these cars, you always feel like you can fit through the gap, but as we saw tonight, sometimes the gap's smaller than it might appear.
Indeed, we certainly saw a few examples of it, but either way, that is just the racing that we can expect from this championship. And someone that knows this championship like the back of their hand by now is Miguel Freitas, who joins us in the box. Miguel, you had everything thrown at you in this evening, as a lot of drivers out there did, but getting the win in the end, it feels like it's been quite a long time, hasn't it, mate?
Yeah, that was a very, very long time. I don't even remember the last win here. I think it was before my injury.
I think so. Although didn't you win one of the races when you were driving with one hand? I'm pretty sure you won one of them.
With one hand, no, but I was cheeky and on the last race, on last or one of them on Nordschleife, I drove with two hands and won that one.
Oh yes, yeah, it was the Nordschleife, wasn't it? Yeah, it was near the end of the season. But I mean, you didn't have it all your own way in that one. We saw, as I mentioned before, you know, a lot of your performances in season one were just outright pace and you'd drive away from the front. But even in this one, you had to fight for that really hard, didn't you?
On this one, I think it was more about avoiding incidents, because I don't think I made a move on anyone. I was just avoiding left and right. And all of a sudden, I was second and he dropped out because of bad connection, and I just got the win handed to me.
Well, that's always a nice way to get it as well, and it's quite apt as well, actually, because your car is the one that sort of features almost most prominently on the thumbnail tonight. It's the car that's in focus on the thumbnail anyway, but either way, you know, there's a lot of strong competition, and it's been one of the talking points. I mean, from season one onwards, the grid's just been getting stronger and stronger, hasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I'm really struggling to get on the battle with the top guys. For several occasions I was losing on the draft to them, so yeah, it's very competitive this season.
It's absolutely wonderful to see it though. At the same time, you know, it makes sure that everyone's on top of their game. Has there been any specific highlights apart from this win so far this season? Is there anything that you're enjoying more than previous seasons?
This week is an exception, but the track choice it has been amazing, but this one I really hated it. But I got the win, so maybe now I will love it.
Well, you never know. It's always the ones where you say, "Oh, I've not really got that much pace around here," and then you come away with a win. I've heard it happen so many times. But either way, mate, it's been great to see you on the top step again, Miguel, and very well done from us here. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before you go?
Team and to the broadcast team as well, because you guys are doing an amazing job on this series.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And yeah, that's it.
Fair play, fair play. Well, good to speak to you, Miguel. Very well done again, and we will see you next time round at Laguna Seca.
Yeah, see you.
Cheers. Smashing guy, Miguel Freitas. Absolutely wonderful drives in the very first season, and another one this evening. You know, he had a great showing all night, and he certainly made it work for himself. Somebody else that made it work this evening is Paul Godden for Sim Stickers. Paul, that, as I'm going to say to everybody that we interview, that was beyond lively this evening, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, that was a really good, great evening's racing, actually. It was all three races were start to finish action throughout the whole pack. Yeah, it's really good fun. So, and had a great result as well for the team, and also for my best result in the series so far, so which I'm really pleased about.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you got a win as well in the academy class. I believe race 2. I think race 3 you were second in the academy class. But you know, it's all about those class championship points now, isn't it? Now that everybody's been classified, it just gives you a bit more relative perspective of what to fight for, doesn't it?
Yeah, there was a couple of people in the race, and I had a spotter for this one as well. I had Ross helping us all out, just spotting
awesome.
for us, so we know who we're racing with and who we're not, because sometimes we struggle with that. Yeah, he was telling us who to let through, who we could race with, and yeah, it just worked out really well. We had some great battles with people, and if I had pace to keep up with the quicker guys, I kept up with them and kept the pressure on to try and make them a few mistakes. But the hardest thing was trying to keep the front tyres, keep them having grip. So in the first race, I just ran out of grip about 3/4 of the way through the race, and I started losing places. And then race 2 and 3, I just decided to take it a little bit easier in the first 3 to 5 laps, and it paid off in both races. So I made a 1 or 2 places up in the closing stages of the races. So.
Well, I was going to say it was the discussion of tyre life early on in the evening, of how well they are going to last round here, and I know that it can be like 3 laps and then they've gone off and they just feel awful. But you mentioned there who you let through and who you race against. It's an important thing to know in a series like this, isn't it? Because with it being sprint racing as well, you've not got long to make up for any positions lost if you need to. So having that sort of awareness of who's around you is very important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very important, because you can lose a lot of time by racing with someone who could be 3 to 4 seconds a lap faster than you. Because obviously, normally my plan tonight was to finish in the top 30, to be honest, and I would have been happy then. So I just had I'm struggling with the car. It's the first season I've done with this car, and it's very different from anything I've ever driven, and I can't work out yet what I need to do to the car to make it go faster. I've tried a lot of different things, and whatever I do doesn't seem to do anything. I've looked at telemetry data and everything looks good. It's so there's something I'm missing just slightly, and so if I'm racing with someone who's 3 seconds lap faster and I'm losing time by battling with them, the guy in second place in the academy class could be catching us, and if I run out of tyres towards the end of the race, he'll get me, and it's not an overall championship, it's a class championship at the positions that I'm in at the moment, so that's where I need to concentrate.
Yeah, indeed. It's certainly easy to just race everybody that comes along. At the end of the day, it's sim racing, isn't it? Everybody's a racer, everybody wants the best result they can, you want to defend every position. But like I say, Paul, you've had a wonderful evening of it, really, in what was certainly a lively one. If you watch the broadcast back, I tell you what, make sure you've got a drink at hand, because
I will be watching that back. So
it certainly was a good one. But well done again, mate. And before we let you go, do you want to give a quick shout out to anybody?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to just thank yourself for the great broadcast, and Bart and SRW for putting on a really great series. I know this one's a bit more challenging than some of the other ones they do, just because of the close competition, and also last thing is just all the team for trying to help me and obviously Danny as well get faster in this car this season, putting the hours in with us, just helping us out behind the scenes really. So it's really working well as a team. So, and tonight all three of us, unfortunately Wayne couldn't be here tonight, but yeah, all three of us had the best results we've had all season. So
awesome. Good times then. Well, great to speak to you, Paul. Very well done again, and we'll see you at Laguna Seca.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy.
Cheers. Bye.
Smashing stuff. And from one fantastic personality to another, your consistency class winner in the final race of the evening, Daniele Giudici, joins us in the chat. Daniele, mate, you must be beaming with that one. 4th place overall as well. What a result.
Finally, I wasn't unlucky for once, and that's the result. I'm so happy. Pole position, led 2 laps. I'm happy. The season is a win for me.
Well, that's exactly what we hoped as well, mate, because, I mean, we always do refer to you as the happiest man in sim racing, no matter how bad your luck is as well. But obviously, we're just speaking to Paul then. He said, you know, Sim Stickers, you've had a fantastic evening of it, haven't you guys? You've managed to stay out of most of the trouble and just come away with a haul of points.
Yeah, I did. I don't know how we made it, I have to be honest. Consider the last 2 races where every single bad luck it could be was mine. And tonight I have avoided, like, race 3 having Matthew Chris slowly rolling down, and I avoided him. And Navida having an incident, I managed to avoid it. I don't know how it happened. I'm just happy. Super happy.
Well, that's the best thing about it, mate. And, I mean, what did you make of getting that car around that circuit? Because it's definitely a different combination to what we used to, but it certainly looked like a lot of fun. I mean, I've driven it myself, and I loved it, but when the field is that big, I mean, I only drove it against, like, 10 other cars on a bit of a fun evening, but when it's serious competitive stuff in a field of nearly 40 cars, it must be a very different kettle of fish.
It is, and I have a lot of respect for the Precision guys. I was trying to stay with them and seeing how they were getting close to the walls with all that understeer and this kind of track, all racing each other. I was like, okay, guys, these are a different level. I just have to learn from them. And for me, it was good. I have to say, it was a funny track. And the moment I decided and noticed I wasn't pushing too hard, start coming into, and that's where it worked to me. For the rest, it was me being in a place I wasn't really belonging to and say, please don't murder me. I'm staying there. I'm here. I'll let you pass, guys. You can go. Fight yourself. I'm just doing my race. But I tried to learn with them on the same time. And I could see what kind of line they were taking, how closer they were, how more unsafe in a certain extent they were compared to me. That's something I could be working on it to try and improve.
Well, that's it, mate. Every day is a school day still, and there is always room for improvement no matter how quick somebody gets. But either way, it's just how you go about that, isn't it, over the course of a season to find that improvement. But again, you know, we've seen that from the likes of you and the rest of the Sim Stickers team, you know, constantly on the rise, it seems. So keep it up, mate. It's always exciting to watch. And of course, you know the question by now. We've done plenty of interviews by now. Is there anybody you'd like to give a quick shout out to while you're on the stream, Daniel?
Well, of course, to all my teammates for the great result. In a bantery way, we need to thank Wayne because he didn't show up, and that's what the result we done. Coincidences, we need to see that. And as usual, the SOW, you guys for the commentary as usual. And I have to thank you from a couple of races ago when you and Peter told me that you could be the pacifier for the PTCC Championship. That could be an interesting role to do. And for the rest, yes, thanks to everybody. And we hope we brought some good entertainment in these dire times.
You certainly did, Daniel. Thank you very much, mate. Well said. And we look forward to seeing you at Laguna Seca.
It's going to be fun, that one.
Yes, indeed, mate. Have a good evening, buddy.
You too, guys. Have a good one. Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.
He's such a great guy, Daniele Giudici, isn't he? Absolute modern-day hero. Such a good guy. But speaking of good guys, though, Peter, Miguel Freitas back on the top step once again. Brilliant stuff. Great to see it.
It is superb to see, yeah. He's been knocking on the door of it for quite a while, and there's been a lot of races where he's maybe had the pace and it's not quite gone his way, but tonight it did go his way, and thoroughly deserved. And you know, it's funny, wins often do breed wins, and I think that winning feeling that will really give Miguel a little bit of an extra push for the rest of the season. And I don't think it's the last time we'll see him up front.
No, indeed. I think, to be honest, it may just have been rekindling that drive to get the consistent race wins. And I mean, he's been knocking on the door for a while, hasn't he? And I think it was just a matter of time that the original champion came back to the top. I know that OG doesn't stand for original champion, but I've got to go with that. But either way, mate, it's certainly kept us on our toes tonight. There was driving that we thought was questionable. There was driving that was absolutely fantastic. You know, it had a bit of everything this evening. But Laguna Seca next time, it's going to be a very stark contrast, don't you think?
Yes and no. I think the attrition rate might be similar. Laguna is a really tight circuit, and it's difficult to overtake when the MotoGP guys used to find it difficult to overtake around there, and it's for touring cars it's going to be pretty similar. So I wonder if we'll maybe see a couple more questionable moves, perhaps, but maybe Bart Daleman maybe preparing his cane right now for handing out punishments to the drivers.
Yeah, I think Bart will be getting the cane out at this point. But in all fairness, we must say a big thank you to Bart Daleman and his team behind this championship that do what they do. It is certainly very entertaining. But unfortunately, that is all we have time for this evening on Simracersworld TV and the Simracersworld TCR Series. That was rounds 12, 13 and 14 from the Charlotte Roval. I know a lot of the drivers will be turning their back and running away very quickly from that one. But as mentioned, you will see us in a week's time at Laguna Seca. I've been Chaz Draycott. Thank you once again to the wonderful Peter MacKay. Fantastic fun to work together as ever, buddy. Have yourselves a wonderful evening, everybody, and we'll see you in a week's time. Good night.